Be a winner, yeah? The winner tonight!
The story.
What's that say?
Fucking the magic goes, doesn't it?
I didn't say gorilla, but
I think I know how the band name came apart.
I don't really know the actual story. There's been a few of those.
Me and Matt were sat in his flat.
This is right, this, I'm telling you.
We were watching The Simpsons.
Went to a pub quiz.
Thomas got a band called the B Sharps, and Matt thought it was called the Magicos.
So we called ourselves that and we won.
And I'm like, no, they're not, but it's a pretty good name, man. We should probably use it when we start a band.
But we kept the Magicos as the name, and it's kind of like a mess around thing, but then it kind of stuck with us.
But I think there's another story whereby we might have made it up for a quiz name, but I don't believe that one. I believe the Simpsons story to be true.
They say it's not, me and Rob were drunk and we just came up with it all night, it's not.
I don't have a clue. All I remember is that the O was meant to stand for unity with something like soul, power, or something like that. I don't know. I honestly can't remember. I think I was drunk when we came up with that one. We were sitting in the pub opposite where this Battle of the Bands was, and one of the lads that Matt was playing football with at the time, Andy, he just reached over and he said, "Have you seen this?" It was just like a little A4, shitty little poster kind of thing saying Battle of the Bands over the road at JJ's. They want kind of indie bands because they wanted to do an indie night, and so I think Matt just nicked it off the wall and we said, "Fuck it, we'll have that."
And it was 3 weeks away and we just thought, fuck it. We might as well chuck ourselves in deep end because we've got no to lose. And it were a bit of excitement and that, so we had to do something, we entered it and we had to do it.
I think it was Andy told me just in the changing rooms down in football about how there is a battle of bands and we should enter for a bit of crack, like just like go into them practice rooms and do a couple of practice, see what it sounds like for but we'll go for it.
Matt and Tom already had a couple of tunes. They had a Vicious Cocktail and Fever.
Matt and I were a bit kind of nervous, I think, in a sense, to say, look, we've done these, and to put them on the table and just say, you know, let's play. So we didn't want to kind of everyone to feel like we were trying to take control and just say, listen, we're writing the songs, you know.
Me and Tom played them to Smith and Rob, so I showed them what to play, played it, and they were a bit like, yeah, I don't know, sounds alright.
I remember hearing Fever for the first time and liking that. I remember thought it was quite funky. Vicious Cocktail never struck me when the first played it because it was dead slow. This is a vicious cocktail and it's going
Went to the practice room, Smith goes, I've got his song, which I think was Monkey.
I've written that like months ago though. I've written that in the summer. So, well, I've written the chorus in the summer.
First I say we booked down practice rooms in Manchester, then in Blackfish. Once in there, they had a couple of songs ready, just they rattled off, and I just listened to them a few times and started putting beats over the top of them.
Until like then, the songs although they were written, they were never structured or anything like that. They didn't like come alive until now. I got a job really, and he helped out with the structure, especially that Monkey. I remember him just cracked straight into it.
We had 3 songs between us and a cover which we were doing Instant Karma because the date of the gig was the same day it was the anniversary of John Lennon's death.
R.I.P.
we let Niall listen to Instant Karma, and he just went, and then he went, and did it, and then we just sang it. It was me, Smithy, and Niall singing it, and Rob and Tom we sat on the other side of the practice room because there's like a stage, a gap, and then like a bit where there's a fridge. We just sat there, and Tom said, remember he said to me, he said Tingle's getting on his back because it sounded good.
And but after about a week practicing, we were walking out the practice room saying we're going to win it. It was just like the songs were working.
Probably the first thing that wanted me to be in a band were Oasis. And it was probably Smithy as well, because we used to go on about it all the time, walking home from school and stuff.
Me and Rob got guitars Christmas. Went out and got a guitar each and started learning together.
There were three kind of main things that I can remember that made me want to be in a band, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. First I wanted to be a drummer and stuff, and that was like in the car with my dad, and he had Guns N' Roses tape on, and I thought that sounds good, I like the sound of that. The second was going to my dad's mate who used to make these guitars. He had this guitar launch, and I already had a guitar by then, but I still wanted to play drums, I think. And this band played Hey Joe, and I didn't realise who it was by, and then my dad told me it was Jimi Hendrix. And then I just fell in love with Jimi Hendrix, wanted to be a guitarist. And another was going to see the Stones when I was about 8.
You sing songs, don't you, when you're on your own, you sing to yourself. And you think, oh, my voice is alright actually. And then met Tom, me and Tom, went through school, we never really spoke to that much. And then in college just wanted to, when you wanted to start a band, I said I'll be a singer, and then play guitar, and we never really got going.
When I first got the guitar, and I got it for my birthday, and then I got it home, and I thought I was just going to be able to play anything. So I just kind of I thought it was going to be amazing. So I just kind of messed around with it.
First time I met Tom in school, when I was 12, I thought he was a girl, because he was the only guy in our school with a ponytail.
I first met Matt in high school, and it was when the first time I actually remember speaking to him was when we were going to a trip to London for art GCSE, and me and him were like the first ones at the train station at about 6:30 in the morning to go for this trip, and we just started chatting about stuff, and then we just kind of became quite good mates. We did like art together and stuff, so we kind of just started hanging out from there.
And then in college just wanted to, when you wanted to start a band, I said I'll be a singer, and then play guitar, and we never really got going.
Yeah, we talked about it, and we'd said we didn't quite know what kind of thing we wanted to do, but we always said that we'd kind of be in a band, because we kind of, I think in a way we kind of admired each other for the way that I always knew kind of Matt would be kind of quite a good front man, because he was always very confident and very kind of up for just speaking out and stuff, and he'd climb onto the tables in the canteen and drop his pants to show his tiger print boxes and stuff like that.
My earliest memory of Andrew Smith, God knows, he could have been wearing dungarees at play school.
First time I ever can remember seeing Rob is when we were playing football for a school, and it were Watton Shield it was called, and he was captain of the opposing school. And they ended up winning it, and he was captain, and I was captain of our team, so he was lifting trophy. And I was devastated, because I practiced that day how I was going to lift trophy. 2 wheel holders. I was absolutely devastated that they won it.
But we didn't really get mates properly until we used to walk for bus together after school. I don't know how it happened, but we just started talking about it once, and then that was it. I just remember every time we walked home it was something about Oasis or Ian Brown or something like that.
Come to university, met Rob.
First time I saw Rob, we were in the Union bar, and it was me and Matt had just moved into this flat with these two girls, and one of these girls turned out to be Rob's ex-girlfriend.
My flatmate Katie, she was going out with him, and that's how we got to meet Rob. And basically he was just round ours all the time because he was going out with her.
I just remember seeing Matt, and Tom had a basketball top on, and these really big baggy jeans and a white hat on, and I was just thinking he were some white hip hop guy, and I found it pretty amusing.
Remember Tom, when at college he was really into his hip hop and stuff, obviously, but he still carried a postcard of Jimi Hendrix everywhere he went. I wonder if he still carries that. I don't know if he still does.
I just used to knock about. I obviously used to knock about around there through seeing my ex-girlfriend, and I don't know, I would sit about and smoke and play on computer, listen to music, talk about music. Tom would get his guitar out, and it just developed from there, really.
First time I met Matt was in the park when he was flying a kite, unsuccessfully trying to fly a kite. And mate, I thought we were a bit of a nutter.
First time I saw him, he just looked like a little quiet kid sat next to Rob, like just little short hair, skinny little, tiny little kid, and he just sat there next to him, and he just went, all right, I went, all right.
How drunk is he was my first thought of Aunt Smithy, because he was round at next door's flat eating a pizza and he couldn't finish it because he said it was too salty, because it was cheese and tomato. But and then he said he offered me and Matt a piece, which we kind of politely declined, thinking that we didn't really know him. And then as soon as he left, Matt jumps on that piece like a rabid wolverine. As I say, there's me and Matt who always said we wanted to get a band together, and we never thought, knowing that Rob played guitar, we just never put two and two together and thought that he'd want to be in a band or anything. And then I remember I was in the flat, and he came up to me and he said that he wanted to buy a bass, and he said that Andy, I didn't know Andy played guitar at the time, and he said Andy plays like guitar, and he said he said if I get a bass and Andy plays guitar, maybe like you and Matt and me and Andy can just join together and we'll make a little band out of it.
And then we didn't do anything for ages, just fanning around for ages.
I think we just like to talk the talk, you know, and yeah, we're in a band.
We wanted to do something, but we didn't know what we wanted to do. We didn't know what direction we wanted to go in.
We're just a bit lazy, and we never kind of pursued it for about 2 years.
Then obviously entering Battle at Bands in November time, 2004, it was just like, right, you've got to do it now. You haven't got any more options, you can't fuck about anymore, do it. So we did.
Well, before the Battle of Bands, we didn't have a drummer anyway, and we knew now could drum, so we asked him to drum for us.
When it comes to playing music, I more or less did that everything myself. Taught myself the drums, like.
If you came into a group of 4 people, knowing that they'd all been together for such a long time and all lived together, you would feel like kind of strange, you wouldn't feel like you were part of it. But because of his personality and where he is with us and where we are with him, he's key.
I fell on pretty easily because I like the songs, and the tempo of all the songs were like fast and good, and all the lads are sound like, so just worked out pretty nicely.